Coach, when you guys kind of take a look back at Sunday, obviously you guys were in good positions offensively to sustain drives. So what has been the key to that, something you were able to do in week 1, too? But also, can you kind of diagnose what happens when you guys get into the red zone, specifically on Sunday?
I think the main issue in the red zone, there were several, but I think, one of the, we're talking a lot about the red zone, but we were also 2 of 10 on third down. And a lot of those obviously happened in the red zone, and some of those were 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. So I think it's kind of it's a double-edged sword, right? It's our situational football, our third downs, and third downs in the red zone. I'm taking it from Mike Lombardi. I refer to it as a 4-point play, and we weren't able to convert those. So it's something that we've been really good at. We've been really good on third down leading up into this past game, and this past game just weren't able to convert those. And a lot of those were, frustrating because they were the runs, the one we motioned Mike back into the backfield and thought we had a good run and actually lost yardage. We lost yardage on the toss. So even in situations where we're saying, hey, it's 3rd and 2, we're going to run the football. If it's 4th and inches, we'll go for it. We weren't able to do that. So, haven't gotten the quick strike scores that we'd like, the explosive plays. Obviously, the screen was that. So we've had to kind of matriculate the ball down the field. So I think it all just goes back to, continuing to build upon and sustain the run game. I think when you're able to run the football, you make the other team play a certain way, and that opens you up potentially for more one-on-one opportunities. And that's something that both up the field and in the red zone we have to continue to do.
Matt, understanding it's not your team, and obviously you can't, make guesses on what other teams are doing, but what kind of wake-up call is it when you see what's going on with the Titans and the trickle-down effect and how what one team does affects other teams down the road? How concerning is that?
I think we are so process-oriented as an organization that and we've had some players go on the COVID list. So I think for our guys, it's been, just, hey, having the process, having the routines, doing things the right way. I know we've all seen, what's happening with some other teams. So maybe that just brings to life that, like, hey, don't get complacent. And I think the other thing is that, as you said, we kind of do have to all be our brother's keeper as we go through this year and make sure that, we're safe so that when we step on the field on Sunday, we can keep the other team safe.
All right, let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Miles Simmons.
Hey, Matt. Hope you're doing well.
You as well.
Thanks. I don't know how superstitious y'all may be, but is there anything that really worked in particular last week that you all are continuing this week?
Yeah, I don't think we're superstitious. We believe in process. We believe in maximizing, the opportunities, and our only goal this week is to be a better football team this Saturday, this Sunday, leading into the game than we were last week. And so we're trying to do the things that we did last week and do them better. We're also not a regimented, group. Like I will change practice. I'll move times. I'll do whatever I think the team needs to give us the best chance to succeed. So I liked last week, we kind of moved the Thursday practice back. To get ourselves ready for that 4:00 kick, which was a 1:00 kick, but 4:00 here. I liked the effect that had on our team. I thought the guys were able to, maybe take their kids to school on Thursday. Guys were able to come in a little later. I liked the recovery aspect that it provided for our team. And honestly, I think it helped the coaches. It gave them a little more time on Thursdays to get ready for that Thursday practice. Our coaching staff is, they're working themselves to the bone. They're here late at night. They're here early in the morning. So we'll probably repeat that tomorrow, because I like the effect it had on our players and on our staff. I thought we looked really fast on Thursday. But other than that, I want our team to believe that the team that plays the best on Sunday wins, and the way you can play the best on Sunday is to prepare. So I just walked off the practice field. We had a really good practice.
Hey, Matt, I know you're familiar with Kyler Murray from his time at Oklahoma. But what were your impressions of him then, and how do you feel like he's grown now that he's been in the NFL?
I think Kyler's one of the best players I've ever been on the field against at the collegiate level. Going back to his days at Allen, he's just a elite player, dominant player, winner. I know as a college coach, I was asked a lot about him going into the draft, what I thought of him, and I couldn't say enough good things. He's also a really good guy. I flew back from the combine with him last year. I had a chance to say hello to him. Really good young man, great family. And, he's playing at a really high level. He adds he adds an element to their offense of the ability to scramble and run the football. Not a lot of design runs for him, though they do it. And he's able to add, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 yards rushing to what is already a really good rushing offense. So has tremendous poise, just a really good player and a really good person.
All right, let's go to Joe Person and then Steve Reed.
Hey, Matt, looked like you got a number of injured guys back today, which I'm assuming was encouraging. And on that note, wondered what your plan was with Eli and Keith.
Yeah, I think the first plan was just, we made them designated to return. So we're, they have a certain amount of time to see, if they're back. So we just started to introduce them back into practice today. And really, it's not even a matter of their injury, I think, as much as like their conditioning and their injury, right? So we went through practice today. We'll see how they respond and see how the coaches feel like they fit into the game plan, how far along they are technically with what we're doing. So they were both out there today. They looked like they did a nice job, but, have to go back, watch the tape, talk to the coaches, see exactly where they fit and also see the need for those guys at their positions, in terms of over the next couple of weeks, in terms of where they fit.
Matt, to piggyback a little bit on Joe's question, are you optimistic that KK will be back this week? And, how much of an impact would that have?
Yeah, I don't want to forebode, I don't want to forebode the future. I guess that's the right word. I don't want to guess the future. He was out there today. I think, I'll see how the foot responds tomorrow. Obviously, I think KK is a tremendous player. And the impact he has on everybody is really, really, really great. And so we'd love to have him out there with us. I thought last week Derek Brown played fantastic. I thought he was dominant at times in the run game. I thought Zach Kerr did a lot of really, really good things. I thought Bravion Royce stepped up. F.A. stepped up going inside. So to have KK back would only make us stronger. So we'll just take it day by day and see how he feels coming out of this practice today.
We're going to go to David Newton and then Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Matt, I wanted to ask you, we had Coach Kingsbury on the line earlier today, and he was talking about how when you guys met in college, he got fired the week after that loss to Baylor, and you sent him a text. What about Kliff impressed you when he was on that level? What have you seen from him at this level?
Well, he's a great guy. I was sad for him when he got fired. I thought he was a great coach and had done a lot of great things at Texas Tech. And but I considered him a friend and a guy that I really liked and liked being around. So, we've talked a couple of times. In fact, I think I sent a couple. I didn't think I did. I sent a couple of my coaches out to Arizona last year to visit with him and talk offensive football with him as we prepared for our season last year at Baylor. And he was kind enough to visit with them. So I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great coach, a great offensive mind. I think he's tremendous with quarterbacks. I think the things that he did at Texas Tech were outstanding. And, we had we had 3 great battles against each other, or 2 great battles against each other. So, it'll be great to see him again. I had a chance to see him at the combine. As I was going through the NFL process, he's one of the guys I did call and said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, he's always been there for me. So I think you had a second part to that question, David.
The second part would be, obviously you didn't get him fired, but he got fired after that. So when you're a coach and you face somebody that get in that position right after you play them, what's that like?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it because I never really thought about it. I just know that I really like Kliff a lot, and I think he's a really good coach. And so I hate seeing coaches get fired. I think sometimes, we see it one way, but, I see the carnage on the other side of it. I see the families. I see I see the assistant coaches, in the college level, strength coaches, everyone goes, so I hate seeing that. So I know when that happened to him, I just reached out to him because I thought he was a great coach and I knew he was going to have a lot of success. And here he is, his team's 2-1, in year 2. So he's already done a great job.
Hey, Matt, I was wondering if there was anything you could tell us about Derek Brown's absence for today. And I was also wondering, Yetur, obviously he's missed time already in the past couple of weeks. Is there any concern from you about him missing more time, obviously now with an illness, but just any concern there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always concerned when someone's not out there. I mean, Yetur as a young player needs to practice, but his health always comes first. And so he'll be out with an illness. And then whenever we get him back, we'll make a determination if he's ready to play this week. And I'll let Derek share. I mean, Derek's stuff's all positive, but I'll let him. I don't want to speak for him. I'll let him share his situation.
Go to Will Kunkel and then Mike Slarte.
Hey, Matt, good to talk to you again, man. Just to do due diligence here, we talked a lot about Bravion and Derek last week and how bad, frankly, they've been playing. So this week, obviously, they turned that around. What keyed that? What allowed Derek to be so successful, particularly? Was it just mental and figuring out what he had to do, or what else?
Yeah, and to be fair, I never said that they were playing badly. I think some reports, said like that they were playing badly, but I thought Bravion played really well at times in a couple of those games. I thought Derek Brown played well. So, I think they're just going to continue to get better each and every week. Now they'll hit, sometimes they hit that rookie, where they get a little tired or whatever. But I think our whole team's getting better. I think our whole team, again, it's just game 3 for us. So I think you'll just see rapid improvement, hopefully week after week after week, and there'll be some adversity along the way, and we'll have some good moments, some bad moments, but I think the players will get better and better and better. But just, to be fair to those guys, I thought, obviously we weren't getting the pressure that we always wanted, but I think that was from everybody. But I think those guys have been playing well. I think that's one of the dangers of some of the companies and some of the companies we use for other things. But they rank and rate guys, but they don't know what we're asking guys to do. So it can be hard. That being said, I think Derek and Bravion both they're trying to get better at things really quickly. I mean, this should be like their last preseason game, and they should be heading into the season. So for game 3, I think they learned from the first 2 games, and they have a lot of things they have to work on this week as we get ready for game 4 and the next week against the Arizona Cardinals. And obviously Derek wasn't out there today, so he'll have to catch up a lot tomorrow.
And just a general question real quickly. Do you guys feel like an overlooked team, an underestimated team, like you versus the world type of why not us deal?
I don't, because, I think the thing that you're going to hear from me, hopefully for a long time is, to me, it's always about us. It's about us focusing on us and not focusing on the outside things. So if we try to desperately control the way that we play and make sure that we play as well as we can play, then we won't ever overreact and panic. And sometimes you play really well and you lose. And if you're listening to people on the outside, you can become downtrodden. And sometimes you play really badly and win. And if you're not critical of yourself and you're listening to people on the outside, then you can get complacent. So what we want to do is we want to just focus on us. And so, I don't know if people are, how people see us. I just think we have to focus on us, and focus on, are we playing good football or not? What we did last week to win the game against the Chargers will not be good enough this week. We have to play better. And so we're out there trying to improve our defense, improve our tackling, improve our pass rush, improve our run defense, and then offensively improve our run offense, improve our big plays. I mean, there's so many things that we have to improve upon that I just want us to focus on us and the things that we can control.
Coach Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. Back to Kyler Murray, you talked about how he's dangerous with his legs and those things. What kind of, I guess, impact on your defense does a guy like that have? Where are the stress points that he tries to kind of, exploit to his advantage?
I think it comes in really three ways. I think first with his arm. I mean, he's really accurate, but he's got a cannon. I mean, I think he's got 2 balls completed this year that are over like 53, 54, 55 yards. That can stress you. A lot of times, the guy runs a post, you break on it. If it's not in the air by 25, 26 yards, you're like, all right, well, it's not being thrown. I mean, he'll put the ball in the air at like 35, 37 yards. So that stresses you. He stresses you in terms of in the drop back passing game. If you give him a seam, he can take off at any time and get running. So it changes your rush, but you still want to be aggressive, but you have to make sure that you're being really disciplined in your rush lanes. And then the third thing is he has the ability to zone read and quarterback run and quarterback counter and all those different things that you don't see very often in the NFL. You see from, a couple teams. And what that does is even when they're running a simple handoff play, everyone has to be concerned about the fact of him pulling it and running. And so it gives you 3 things that you're constantly, you're constantly having to be worried about. So he's a dynamic player, and he's gonna be a real challenge for our defense.
All right, guys, we only have time for 3 more, so let's go to Joe Person and then Miles Simmons and Elena to finish.
Hey, Matt, just in the current culture, I feel like I have to ask, is Eater and COVID situation?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, he would be on the COVID list if we did that. So, no.
Is he going to be on later today, or can you say?
He's not COVID related.
Matt, I think you guys are going to be able to have fans in the building now. Just what effect do you think that might have for you and the team?
I think it's going to have a huge effect. I think our guys, number one, are really excited to play in front of their family and friends. I know I'm excited. As I told the team, I moved my family from Texas to Charlotte. I moved my daughters away from their friends and their classes in the middle of a pandemic, and all for an opportunity to coach the Carolina Panthers, and they haven't had a chance to see it. So to have my daughters be able to go to the game, to have fans be there, people that love this team, and the only thing that's hard for me and sad for me is that everyone can't come. We wish the place was packed and all the people who love the Carolina Panthers were there. And again, I want this. One of my goals is that people fall in love with this team and the way that they do things. We're not a perfect team, but we practice and we play the game the right way. And so I want people to just kind of start to feel that energy and like that energy. So, but I'm excited to do that. I think it'll be fun for our guys, and hopefully it'll be a good thing for the Carolinas.
Matt, I was wondering, I know it's obviously way too far out to kind of predict this, but you guys used Trent Scott and Greg Little with Russell missing last week. Do you kind of see, did one of those guys really stand out to you Sunday with their performance if Russell for some reason isn't available Sunday, or did you kind of like the rotation there?
I liked the rotation. Now, whether we move forward with that or not, I think as guys get a little more comfortable, a little more in shape, but I think we would still do some version of that. With Dennis Daly returning to practice, I think that throws in another variable of a guy who's played left tackle and left guard. So, we'll wait and see. We'll see if Russell can go tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what the coaches feel like. But, I think the main thing for me on Wednesdays is just to get out there and, kind of, you get an injury report before practice. You have to kind of go out there and see how guys feel. But I thought Greg Little played well enough to win, and I thought Trent Scott played well enough to win. So if Pat wants to go with just one of them, I'd support that. And if we feel like we need to rotate them, and I think it's good for just their development too, that they're both getting to play. So I would be supportive of that as well. So I'll wait and see kind of how the practice looked today and how tomorrow looks. But, we're hopeful that Russell will practice. But as of today, we'd probably go out there with Greg and have Trent rotate with him.